Karibu sana. And we are so glad you're joining us again as we begin the next season 2.
To our viewers, at the heart of Lighthouse, at the light of Lighthouse. Oh God.
Good. Welcome back to the Lighthouse Podcast. My name is Collins Mucha.
And I'm Steffi Mucha.
Good. And this is season 2 of the Lighthouse Podcast, and we're very glad you're actually joining us.
Yes, we are. And I'm happy that we are back. And maybe to the viewers, just to let them know that at the heart of Lighthouse, we value relationships. And the reason why we're here is just so that you can feel like you have an extra friend, and let's go through this relationship matters together.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. Season 1 was a very meaningful season for us. And, we talked about a lot of issues. I remember we tackled communication, conflict resolution, emotional connection, and many other real pressures that couples usually face in marriages and relationships today.
And one very key thing was the feedback that we received from our viewers. Some of them being our friends, others being strangers, people we've never met, but they felt like they're in a room with us having that conversation. And indeed, that was really, I think that's how we measure our success on the podcast, by just getting the feedback and getting to understand that there are people who actually take time to listen to us, learn from all the discussions we have. And we also learn from them, because some of them actually share very personal stories, and we get a tip from them too.
Yeah. That's actually the spirit of the podcast. And, you may be looking at us and you're thinking we have everything figured out.
No, we don't.
We really do not have everything figured out. The reason why we're having these conversations is to remind people that, when you're intentional about conversations, you can strengthen the relationships that you have.
Yeah.
So keep the conversations. That's what we are here for.
Yeah, relationships are very, very complex. Yeah, like they're two very separate people who come together to start something that has no school, something that you just start.
Yeah.
So it's the only thing you know about that bit is that I like Collins and Collins likes me, but beyond that, you're supposed to figure it out. Yeah, so I think relationships are a serious conversation, and it's very different for each house, and it's good to understand and appreciate the dynamics that come with it. Yeah.
And sometimes the biggest challenges that we face in relationships are not the big things. They're the small things that we assume.
The small things that count.
The assumptions that we have, the silence, the misunderstandings, the little ones that we have. So it's really not about the big issues that we face. And, this platform gives us a place where we can converse and talk about this. Yeah. So, and that's why these conversations matter. They really matter for us. We need to keep the conversations here at the Lighthouse.
Yeah, we do. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we have for season 2.
Season 2 is going to be big. We're going to have deeper conversations. We are just going to try and go inside the conversations we've been having. Try to have some real topics and real faces. Couples, we hope we are not just going to have the professionals talking about the marriages, but we're going to have couples giving us their experiences.
That's very interesting.
How they've gone through it all and come out.
Yeah, so let's keep it locked to all the viewers. And it will be very interesting to learn what each person is going through and what they've actually survived, because sometimes it's not just what you've gone through, but you've actually made it out of that situation. And I think for us, even at the Lighthouse and at the Mucha home, we believe relationships, marriage are about you being intentional.
Sure.
Yeah, like you just have to make that choice. I want to be intentional about this, and so long as that is there, then you have the proper mindset. So do you think Lighthouse is just for the people who are married?
Not really. It's for everyone. There are people who need tips for handling relationships that they are in currently, that we also talk about. Interesting. In fact, actually, we're going to have people who are yet to get married joining in the podcast and giving us their experiences, how they are going and tackling the challenges that they have. And, just to help ourselves weather the difficulties. But at the same time, I just would wish to ask the viewers, which topics would you want us to handle this season?
Yeah.
Maybe you can just type there and
tell us. They can type it in or drop us an email. We usually have an email on our description box. Because some people would want to keep it private. But beyond that, I think the Lighthouse podcast and everything we do at Lighthouse is basically about transitions, which begin from the basic relationship when it moves to maybe you getting married. Some we actually handled some that went south and there was a divorce, and that was tricky. Because we didn't know. I think we had not thought about how we will handle such a situation, but now we know. And then there's also the aspect of the ones who've lost their loved ones. So probably they're now widows, single, or widowers. And remember, there are also some families that are blended, which is also a very important aspect when you start bringing in the children. I mean, it's a very complex scenario, and we hope that we'll be able to tackle each of these small, tiny bits so that everyone feels like they're accommodated in the podcast. I really look forward to seeing what we can do this season. You're
giving people a glimpse. We are going to try and get you all those unique couples, come here and give you the experiences so that we can share and see how to grow. And our belief here at Lighthouse is that, when communities, when couples, when families, when people in relationships talk more, then we tend to have healthier communities. When the family is healed, when there is good relationships within the family, then it means our community is going to get healed. Not just our community, the nation at large is going to experience some form of peace.
So meaning change also begins from home. And sometimes psychologists would say, if you see someone behaving in some type of way, sometimes also try to understand where are they coming from, like what is their background and all these things. Because I believe home is where we pick up most of these things. So even as you want to build the nation, if you want to make a difference, it has to start from home. So whether you're watching us as a couple, as a single person, or as someone who's looking into joining this marriage institution, we value you, and we're looking forward to having you in this podcast.
This is season 2 of the Lighthouse Podcast, and we're looking forward to have those conversations with you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Hoping to have meaningful conversations in the next ones. Welcome back to the Lighthouse Podcast.
See you in the next one.